Alright, and we are back for the final round of qualifier number 3 for Season 8 of Champions of the Fog. And we have Misery's killer, Ducky, piloting the Blight against Tremor's Survivor team. And I'll be honest with you, we got an interesting build here today. I'm excited for you guys to see it too. Obviously, you did see a brutal strength there, breaking that pallet pretty quickly. That being said, though, pretty tried and true add-ons here of Blighted Rat, Blighted Crow, Blight going for the rush. Kate going to go for the dodge. Blight being patient here, but getting the hit on the Kate. Really well played, to say the least. But looks like they are going to drop chase instead, wanting to protect their nearby generators. And we do see what looks to be 2 survivors off in the distance, trying to go behind this tile here. Looks like going out towards the edge of the map. Blight going to be ducking and weaving throughout this tile, but not able to get a hit on anyone. Looks like we do have a survivor vaulting here. That's the Nancy taking the hit there. Blight with just about 5 tokens back in their pocket. And looks like we will see a insta-break here. No, Blight going for the hug tech instead. Confident in their abilities as Nancy will go down. Fantastic job there by Ducky from Misery, as Nancy will be the first on hook. With that being said, Blight looking around for a hook, seeing if they are able to get somewhere, and looks like they will end up getting hooked here. No Scourge Hook Pain Residence in hand. So far, only 2 perks have been revealed, that of which being a Corrupt Intervention and Brutal Strength. Though with them looking around, this kick here will reveal a Pop Goes the Weasel. And looks like Ducky the Blight will make their rush back to the unhook here, wanting to go for the tunnel out here. They do find the Nancy, though they are now in the main building, making it a bit more difficult for them. Looking to refresh their tokens as Nancy will vault out, but not gaining a whole lot of distance. And looks like Nancy will pre-drop the pallet. Blight, though, going for the rush, going for the swing, but vacuumed into the pallet. Unable to secure the down here, but another one coming in. A bit of a rushed rush there, as there was no pallet in sight. The Blight was primed and ready to simply just walk that one in, but Nancy, faking out the pallet here, will go down. Very patient stuff here from Ducky. And looks like we do see the first gen popping off here for the survivors. Second hook here for the Nancy, one away from being sent back to the campfire via the entity. And looks like the Blight here will make their way back to Shack, seeing if there's any more progression. There's a ton of progression here for Pop Goes the Weasel to chew through. This will be 30% of the current progression, but a Blast Mine coming in, blinding the Blight, extending a bit of time here, potentially for the survivors to come in for an unhook, though no sign of them, as Nancy's about 30 seconds away from being sent back to the campfire via the entity. Looks like Blight, though, going to check around, and we don't see anyone nearby, whether that be for the gen or for the unhook. But Blight going out pretty far here, finding the Zarina, it looks like, but a sprint burst getting them away in the nick of time. Blight going back to the unhook, but not in time, as a survivor will secure the unhook. Second gen popping off here for Tremor's survivor team, and looks like Blight will go for the tunnel out. Nia not able to get in front. Ducky with the BT hit, and let's see if they pursue further. Nancy with the pre-drop, trying their best to stay upright. And looks like we do have the Nia here for the body block, but Blight unable to secure the hit and get them away from this chase. Looks like we will see the insta break here from the Brutal Strength. Nia once again coming in for the unhook. Blight trying to get around, does successfully do so, but Nia with the body block just in the nick of time. And we will see gen number 3, not sure which one that was. Looks like it might be Shack based on its positioning, but Nia is nowhere to be seen. Nancy going down, and that will be the first survivor sent back to the campfire via the entity. Really well played here for the Blight. Right now we're looking for a 1-for-1 hooks to gen ratio. The question is, will the Blight be able to push things forward in their favor now that there is one less survivor, creating a 3v1 scenario? We do see Nia here in the main building. Looks like they did vault out, but Blight not too enamored with that chase, will end up breaking this breakable wall here, doing a bit of home remodeling, and sure enough, that was in fact the shack gen that was completed. But these survivors cranking out these gens left and right. Another 30% off this gen here. Zarina with the sprint burst that we've seen earlier. A cheeky bounce there and unable to secure the hit after 3 tokens used. Zarina making some distance here, but Blight looking to check on these gens elsewhere. No, changing their mind, faking out the Zarina and securing the hit too. Ducky doing a fantastic job there, mind gaming these survivors as they do continue to reduce resources here and there. Still, one perk yet unknown and unseen throughout this entire trial. We do see this gen pretty well progressed though, and it looks like the Kate's the one nearby, and the one with the blast mine too, as Blight gets blinded and stunned as well. And looks like we will see Blight rush off in the distance. Zarina's still injured, mind you, but nowhere to be seen. I imagine these survivors will be forced to reset here. Speaking of which, Zarina will get healed. Kate going up to the top of main, potentially for a bounce landing play, but Blight with an amazing play there gets the distance needed to secure the hit. Kate will revolt here, but looks like Scratchmark's trying to head back to the most progressed gen from the Zarina. Blight kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, to say the least, but Zarina with the pre-drop, avoiding the hit there from the Blight. Really well played. Blight with an attempted mind game, but unable to get the distance needed. Zarina with the vault, though, will take the hit. Though we do see another gen completed here by survivors. Blight a little bit concerned about these gens. Will go back, making sure Kate is nowhere near. But it does mean, oh, hold on one second. That's the Kate. Doing a great job dropping down through the hole. Kate making some distance here. They have a pallet. They do not pre-drop though, sticking to their guns. Kate potentially trying to make a way over to another tile. There's the pre-drop. No vault though. Blight concerned about the gen, and for good reason, as it's no longer regressing. There's a survivor on it, and looks like it's either the Zarina or the Nia. Nia with the firecracker. No blind though for the Blight, and looks like we are back to 2 survivors injured. Honestly, Ducky the Blight playing amazing through and through again and again, but these survivors just playing even better. However, we hear Nia here. They will not go down. That is what the Blight needed and what the entity requires, but just unable to do so. Zarina's still a little bit of an unknown, and we do see scratch marks, but no blood, I don't think, here. Dropping down. No, that's Kate. We hear it, and looks like they will try and go for the down, but unsuccessful in doing so. Scratch marks making their way back to this gen once again, and there's blood on the ground as well. That there is the Nia, but with a pallet here and a slow vault. I'm sensing a light, but not used wisely enough, as Nia will successfully go down. However, Blight, concerned with the progress on these gens, will leave them slugged out. And looks like it's both Kate and Zarina on this gen here. However, I'm not sure if it's going to matter for the Blight, as they're going to go for the rush and break on this pallet, going back for, I think, the Nia in order to secure. No, Nia back up, potentially an unbreakable. No, 2 survivors here. That is Nia and Zarina. Blight going for the rush, trying to be patient here, trying to identify where the Nia is. Nia does go down. Fantastic play there. They need to get this hook, and a pop goes the Weasel ASAP, lest they do lose this last gen. Zarina here next to the gen as well. Blight having to make a choice, go for this gen or for the other. Doing a bit of a fake out here, getting the hit on the Zarina. 3 survivors injured, potential for an endgame slug out play, but Blight going to be giving these survivors this gen, it looks like. We hear the Kate working on this gen as well. It is like 99.9. Almost wish there was a way for us to tell the exact progress on it. As Blight once again rushes down, unable to get the hit on the Kate, but they can't wait long, as we do see survivors here on this gen. Nia on it as well. No adrenaline from the survivor on the ground. That could be a 2-man slug. That could potentially mean that we are going to see a 3K here for the Blight, as we do see the mid-vault at the Z-wall, as we know, the strongest tile in the game. And Blight, not content with that, will go for the slug play here. Try to see where we are as far as exit gates are concerned, but they're pretty heavily split. Blight, getting a quick look though, does see that there is no progress on either. They have some time to go for the hooks here. The question is whether or not one of these 3 remaining survivors has a deliverance. We hear Zarina trying to crawl away. Blight having to make a choice here. Will go for the rush on the exit gate. Looks like we see Zarina get back up. We do see the exit gates pretty well progressed, and 2 pickups of potential unbreakable from these survivors. That is huge, from all the pressure to none at all. The match might just be slipping through Misery's fingers here. Blight trying to go for a quick down, but Kate doing a fantastic job evading them, and looks like they will go for the break here. No sign of other 2. I imagine they're making their way over towards the exit gate here. The question is, has too much time been wasted? Will 20 seconds been... Oh, Zarina forcing the pick here. And we do hear the exit gate in the distance getting open, starting EGC. We'll see one final hook here. The question is whether or not this is the deliverance player. Because if so, they could still potentially get an out here if they play their cards right. Blight, I don't think they can go for the push out. I think they need to sit here and watch them progress the second stage. They're going to take the risk, though, and try and go for it. There's the deliverance in the background. Blight going for the rush back. The question is, does Zarina go for the hatch or go for the exit gate? And Blight is making a bet on the hatch, and sure enough, there's 1, there's 2 out. Exit gate, and we have the hatch coming up quick. Zarina picking the right side, and there is the 3-man out for Tremor. All right, and we are back for the final trial of qualifier number 3 for Season 8 of Champions of the Fog. And we got Tremor's killer, Boo, killing against Misery's survivor team. And they have a few win conditions available to them. They either need to get a 2K7 hook, or they could also get a 1K6 hook by hooking each individual survivor. So a lot of different opportunities here for Boo the Blight, but we'll have to wait and see what these survivors are able to do, as Ada, now in chase, unable to get to this pallet in time, will end up going down. That is a very early down here for the Blight indeed, and a fantastic position for Tremor to be in, as we do see brutal strength and corrupt intervention as part of Boo's build. But that being said, we're looking around for a potential hook. We'll have to wait and see what these survivors have been doing all the while. And Blight going to rush out. And we see scratch marks here by the main building. A decent amount of progress here. And a pop goes the Weasel, regressing that gen by 50% of its current progression. Blight taking a quick peek and seeing if a survivor has gone for the unhook, but they have not. Instead, Feng Min going to be taking the chase away from the main building. Looks like they will get hit, and all the while, a third survivor will go for this unhook. And looks like Blight, wanting to go for the tunnel out here, will ignore the Zarina, as they are instead going to follow the blood trail of the Ada. And looks like they'll be going for the Blighted Rush, and just narrowly missing, as Ada will be able to go back into the tile. A Rancor now being revealed. That is all 4 perks. A Corrupt Intervention, Brutal Strength, Rancor, and Pop. Ada going down, though, for the second time, unless they have a Decisive Strike in hand. That there will result in a second hook, but a Decisive Strike incoming right next to the pallets, and getting a 3 pallet drop up. Blight with 5 tokens in hand. Going to be very hard to get away unless there's also a Dead Hard. But there is not, as Ada will go down for a third time now for their second hook here, meaning that they're 1 hook away from being sent back to the campfire via the Entity. A really strong start here for the Blight. Looks like survivors were able to successfully get 1 gen, though, earlier, as we did see that Rancor. A bit of progress here as well, and a 10% regression on the main building. Blight taking a look around, trying to take stock of what gens currently have progress and which one is worth popping. And looks like they are going to go to the main gen, which is about 99 for 30% regression on that gen. That is brutal, to say the least, and I'm not talking about brutal strength. Looks like Blight going to be going back to the unhook here. 30 seconds until the Ada is sent back to the campfire via the entity. Now, with the 1-for-1 hook trade now available, they only need to send one survivor here. I'll be honest in saying this new update has not really changed the meta all too much, though we don't see two survivors going for the unhook as much anymore. We also don't see killers protecting the hook as aggressively either. So it's hard to say, as we do see 3 survivors now injured. Rancor popping up again for the second gen. Ada, though, in the middle of nowhere. And Blight going to be going for the Blighted Rush, getting the down. No second decisive here for them. And this will be the first survivor sent back to the campfire via the entity, creating a 1v3 scenario with 2 gens remaining. I was a little bit concerned for these survivors, but now things could be a little bit different. As a reminder, the win condition is either a 2k7 hook or a 1k6 hook, with each survivor hooked once. So this is really interesting, and we're getting closer and closer to that win condition. Blight, though, finding the the Feng Min, as Zarina will deli off the hook. That puts pressure back on the Blight and away from the survivors. However, with Feng Min being injured here, the Blight just waiting for either a Bloodlust or to get their tokens, and will successfully get the down. At this point in time, they will only need to get a hook on the Nancy in order to secure victory. So really interesting win condition set forth for Boo the Blight for Tremor, as they're going to be looking around trying to see what gens currently have progress, and looks like they are going to pick this one for the Pop Goes the Weasel, regressing it by 30% of its current progression. However, Blight, sensing that there is a survivor nearby, is going to be checking every nook and cranny, finds the Zarina. A fantastic job there by the Blight, having fantastic game sense to boot. At this point in time, I think they are now 1 point away from securing victory, meaning that no survivor can get hooked. Doesn't matter if they're on death hook or first hook. Things are looking grim for these survivors, as we do see what looks to be a survivor in a locker. Blight thinking it too, thinking that there might be a head-on in store, but no sign of them, as we instead find the Nancy here. A firecracker on the vault gets the blind on the Blight, and looks like Blight will successfully be able to track the Nancy nonetheless, who will go for the swing and misses on the Nancy, who just narrowly dodges the Blight here. And looks like at this point in time, the Blight going to be dropping chase, fearful that there might be some gens elsewhere, and finding the Feng Min out of nowhere. That is insane, but once again, Blight a little bit more concerned with the gens and the unhook here, as we do successfully see the unhook here from the Nancy. Blight now has the option to go for the tunnel out here on the Zarina, but kind of getting a little bit tripped up there, as Zarina does get to this tile, pre-dropping the pallet, but going past it all the same. Blight going to get the break in as they get their tokens back for the next Blighted Rush. And looks like Zarina going to try and bide as much time as possible here at this tile, but it might all be for naught, as if they go down this last time, that will secure victory here for Tremor, as Zarina going for the POV tech will go down. That was a little bit unexpected, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not entirely certain what happened there. I thought it was the POV tech and they weren't able to get the hit, but now we see both Nancy and Zarina on the ground. That there will secure the victory if either one of them gets hooked. I do not hear the pitter-patter of feet from the Feng Min, so this here will be the win condition met by Tremor. And so congratulations to Tremor, walking away victorious here in round 3 in qualifier number 3 for season 8 of Champions of the Fog. With that being said, we do have one more team who will also receive an invite based on Swiss tiebreakers. We'll be announcing that to that team in just a few moments once the round has ended. With that being said, GG well played to both Tremor and Misery and all teams that have participated today. But don't you worry, this is not going to be the last qualifiers. We have one more next week. So to give you a kind of sneak peek into what's going on next week, we have both the last qualifier on Saturday with qualifier number 4 for season 8 of Champions of the Fog, but we also do have our charity stream for Boys and Girls Club. It is going to be the same type of format as DBDCC, or what we will now be calling COTFCC here on this channel. But there's going to be a little twist where your donations will be able to randomize the map and killer pools for each round.